I feel like we're getting Andy Andrist for the 10 o'clock show.
Yeah, totally.
Well, here's the deal: is I realized I'm not worried about being rebooked or the concept of it.
That's 10 o'clock, Andy. Yep, right on.
Yep. 10 o'clock show, Andy.
I wonder if stand-up's going to fill out a comment card right now.
Right on cue. What a dick.
I've already been podcast. I said Frank and Caro at the Rod Snyder concert earlier.
Oh, I saw that on Twitter. I didn't know if that was for real.
Yeah, no, Todd seemed, I was listening through their thing, but they were like, he seems like he's on coke, and I'm like, no, Todd's pretty sober on that. He smokes a little weed, but they're like, and then he kept abruptly closing songs early, and then he left on mid like beer run. Todd left on the song Beer Run without finishing it. So
Game knows game.
everybody's handling this a little differently.
Well, he's definitely not coked up, though, because you don't stop early when you're coked up.
No, but he seemed to be
That's true.
not in the general spirit of the usual Todd Snyder performance. But it's it's free.
I wonder if there's any GoFundMe's for the coke dealers now that you bring that up. They're probably suffering a lot during this horrible time as well.
Well, and it goes right down the fishbowl. What about the methers? Those guys, they're mid-level, but they still rely on their fix to have a good time.
In the hierarchy of drugs, we look down on methamphetamine, even though it's just a different stimulant.
Right?
Well, I think people are becoming more aware of the effects of meth after watching Tiger King. It's like you could be a totally straight guy, and you could take a hit of meth, and you could be a straight guy with teeth.
After the first hit, you've got the mustache right here. You're like, wait, where did that come from?
Oh my God, my eyes are mascaraed.
I call it dirty Adderall. I'm trying to normalize it. Since everybody is acceptable of Adderall now, I just call methamphetamine dirty Adderall.
Yeah, I think I might have ruined the whole dynamic at my place since this shutdown of whatever. I can't wander around aimlessly doing shit I don't need to be doing. And I straightened up my chair, and there's a certain feng shui to this. I shouldn't knock my mic over that much anymore.
Well, I doubt it.
Wait, why? What made you do that, Andy? Is there more eyeballs on your activity?
He's
I don't know. I just shifted the chair a quarter turn, and everything fits way better.
Show prep.
Cool figure.
Dude, as soon as you figure out a setup that involves you putting your microphone actually in between you and the screen somewhere, so that you can face forward when you talk, you will have fucking conquered it. I'm not. Yeah. Listen.
Settle down. Let's not scare him.
I'm happy with where we are. Don't get me wrong.
I'm happy. This is what's left. So I'm pretty good. Yeah. I'm. I formed an alliance. It's like Survivor. You're stuck with people you don't know or you don't want to know anymore, or you're tired of.
Wish you didn't know.
Yeah, so you start forming alliances. So right now it's me and Mr. Squishers and the squirrel have formed a bond, and we're looking out for each other. And I'm gonna talk to Rue, the other cat, about joining us. That'll leave me and my wife and the dog. Well, no, that'll leave my wife and the dog. I heard her talking to the cat in the bathroom. So this is me in response. It's not me starting this shit. I heard who she forms as the most important.
Well, she was talking to Mr. Squishles in the bathroom?
Yes, it was Mr.
That's your
Squishles.
cat.
Right, exactly.
You got to pump him for info now.
Yeah, if he doesn't report back to me, I'll know there's some bullshit going on. But
Yeah.
we're pretty solid.
If he pretends he doesn't know, what? I didn't talk to anybody in the bathroom. You know, you got him right there.
Oh, bullshit.
Yeah,
Bathroom? I haven't been in the bathroom in a week.
but I agree. I agree with her. I definitely agree with her ranking system.
Yeah, you
I
just
thought it
gotta
was-
make
she was
sure the cats get a vote at tribal council. You might be out anyway.
Yeah, I've heard a similar rant before, but she was always on her way somewhere. I was like, whoa, you got nowhere to go when you're doing this. So yeah, it's raining. It's raining.
Oh shit. Well, good afternoon, gentlemen.
Yeah.
Got
Cheers.
a new bloody mix I'm trying today. The Trader Joe's tomato and clam juice clamato
Oh.
mix.
Wow, you must know somebody who knows somebody because I
Yeah,
had to
that's-
stand out on a guest list to get into Trader Joe's last time. I'm like, Dufresne's Trader Joe party of two.
yeah. Yeah. Well, you know what, dude? I live in the fucking West Hollywood. It's where Trader Joe's is centered. So, you know, we got a system.
Wow. Oh, well, I mean, we have a system. It was actually really good when I got into Trader Joe's because I had to wait outside. And when I got in there, it was like, this is, see,
That's what-
this is what I've always been talking about to myself when I'm shopping and it's crowded.
Yeah. So you got in.
Face, motherfucker. Get your card out of the way. What the fuck, man? You
I'll
know,
tell
but-
you one of the best things to do during this time I learned is knock out any doctor's appointments that you may need to do. I showed up. They had tape 6 feet apart showing you where you're
Yeah.
supposed to stand, going all the way out to the thing. I
Yeah.
walked past it all going, there's nobody out here. I open the door. There's a lady in a mask and gloves who immediately takes my temperature to make sure I'm okay to go further into the building. And there was 2 people in the entire, is a big giant complex, like medical complex, not like a little doctor's office. 2 people in there. Went
Yeah.
right in, got my liver fucking checked out.
Oh yeah,
Right
that's
out.
right. You had to do the ultrasound.
Don't you feel like you're
ultrasound.
just laying down your cards early though to go to a doctor right now? It's like, oh, you know, I think I'm in liver failure. It's like,
It
hold
was
on.
definitely safer
Somebody,
than the
you've got
funhouse.
COVID. Actually,
Yeah. 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 If they
COVID,
stamp you with
the
a
other medical
DNR,
crap.
you're in trouble.
yeah.
You don't come into
Yeah.
contact with anybody there. That's my whole point. It's the
Yeah.
most isolated
Right.
place I've seen
Oh,
so far.
Oh, yeah. I'm holding out. I mean, like, you know, even if I had a doctor's appointment, I'd wait 2 weeks to worry about it. It's like, okay, well, I guess that pain in my groin does need a doctor or whatever. But it's like, you know, you know, if you get the COVID, that cancels out everything. You get fast passed.
No
Having the
use
COVID-
painting a car with a bad transmission.
Yeah, I was gonna take it to Mexico and get it painted, but fuck it.
You know who this time really sucks for? I was thinking is the people who just get the regular flu. You don't have the
Yeah.
fucking
No
popular virus.
sympathy.
Yeah, nobody gives a fuck about you
Yeah.
with your flu having ass.
What about cocksuckers? You know, they've always provided such a service. Now people are like, "Are you sure you're symptom free?"
I feel like there's a story in here somewhere, Andy.
No, I'm just saying. You know,
So
I mean,
we're
gotta
Don't
be
put a gun
careful.
in the
We're gonna do
sea.
well, you shouldn't even be within, unless you have a 6-foot cock. You know, you shouldn't even be close enough to get your cock sucked, unless you know there's a cocksucker living with you, symptom free. I don't have one of those.
Me neither.
I got a symptom of a bigger problem, but not a cocksucker virus.
Yeah, I've been married 21 years. My cocksucker's broken.
Yeah. Yeah, no shit. Yeah.
I mean, these are trying times. So.
Yeah, you're gonna have to learn to suck your own cock. These are tough times out there. It's tough
Yeah.
all over, kid.
I'll tell you what, she'll look at it differently when that pantry's empty.
But not differently in a
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
Oh, there's
Good way. look at the guy
Erickson
turns into a giant.
pose. You're stepping on your own dick. Technologically.
Froze up.
Yeah, your dick.
It's like
your
we're
dick
playing a game.
your dick technologically stepped on itself.
Yeah, well, that's not the first time.
I think it was since it unfroze at the punchline. I just thought we should all laugh like we heard the whole thing. That's there you go.
Wouldn't be anything new.
Yeah. Well, the probably the best thing after this is over is like audiences will be dead and comics will be like, see, this is what it was always supposed to be like, just having fun, talking, being funny, and you don't have complaints and shit. We're gonna miss some of them. Here's what I was thinking of, trying to put a positive spin. Some of those people who are going to have the COVID and die are people who wrote negative things about me in the past. Yeah. There's a certain boomer element to a lot of the complaints I've received. And I was like, right now I don't have a horse in the game,
Yeah. Fewer comment cards will be filled out.
All those people who went to a comedy club and didn't want to hear about the United States military complex. Yeah, all those fuckers.
Now they're like, man, give me more information,
Even if it's false, I'll eat it up, man. It's the time of eating false info. Give it to me.
Yeah, my old throwaway shit was like today's Rachel Maddow show. little nuggets of life-saving info, but I fucking forgot them, and so did they. So, here we are, fucking I Am Legend. Who gives a fuck, That zombie looks a lot like Inman. He's trying to crash in here and ruin my shit. Yeah.
Oh, God damn it.
Yeah, the fucking worse it gets, the happier I get, and not in Glee. It's like this like trap feeling. It's like it's like
what
when
is happening where you are that it's getting worse, Andy. I don't understand this escalation that you're experiencing.
I can't get out of here. Neither can anyone.
Wait, someone blocked the door?
Oh yeah, I still forget about your situation. I'm sorry.
I'm in Hotel California, man. I can't get my wine.
So it's just increasingly getting worse in your head. I got you.
So yeah, I always thought that line was "Please bring me my wife," but it was "Please bring me my wine," and now I realize that's exactly right. Hotel California, but it's Oregon, right? I don't know. Where'd Erickson go? Is he quarantined? Did the Chinese drag him off and shoot him? What's going on? Oh my God, L.A. militarized. Yeah,
there he is. He's back.
So,
Sorry.
But have you, back a while back, I saw these videos of the Chinese quarantine, and they're dragging people. They have no context now. It's like a lot of those fucking Japanese fucking giant lizard movies. I can't think of Godzilla. Doesn't it seem like what China was doing? Didn't seem. It's like they're dragging old ladies out of their apartment and then dragging them somewhere. It's like
that was Japan.
You might have just been watching footage from before all this stuff ever started, Andy.
Yeah.
Don't believe everything you see.
Okay. Were there two women and were there two ladies in one cup? Because I think it was from the future. I think they were quarantined and they were just trying to make it work.
I did see a video where dudes in masks were fucking beating the fuck out of a guy on a bicycle and apparently telling him to go home. He kept trying to get his bicycle to go home and they just kept beating the fuck out of him with sticks.
Stop hitting yourself. Stop hitting yourself. Stop hitting yourself.
May or may not be.
So was this guy black?
Was
this guy black? And they were white? Because they might be,
And were they cops? And was it L.A. and was it Rodney King?
Shaming could be a new fucking way to cover up racism slightly. I couldn't believe this guy standing on his porch out here in this coronavirus.
I would have said it was a third world country, but that wouldn't differentiate it from a lot of our states at this point.
Indiana, third world country. God damn it.
You know that one where nobody has water to drink? Come on, there's all kinds of...
Yeah.
Hey, how do you like how the Mississippi governor cock-blocked the cities that were like, people, you need to stay home, social distance, we got to get a grip on this. And he's like, nah, go on out and get yourself a meal. God damn it. Get yourself a beer and a meal. This is ridiculous.
He overrode common sense. Yeah.
Especially all you minorities. You know what I mean? Hey, there's plenty of hot chicken down here.
The Popeyes is open.
it's such a fucking passive aggressive genocide. It's like fucking man, come on, dude. You know, he's all fucking. He obviously looks like he's a fucking fat racist. He's a fat fucking bullied looking piece of shit. And he's like, "Go on out, man. It's no big deal." And they're like, blocks. He's saying, "No, no, we don't want anybody coming out." And then the mayor's got to get on TV and go, "I guess it's open for business."
Yeah.
Serving people. Don't come down. But no, we're open. The beaches are open. It's fine.
It's still Labor Day. There's still Labor Day.
Don't take pictures with that torso, please. Come on. Show some respect for the dead. Don't Instagram that.
That torso was already there before the shark problem started.
Not only are they keeping
clearly a propeller accident.
Not only are they keeping the beaches open, they're waving everybody into the water. Hey, we're gonna do blood bombs. Come on, everybody, get in the water.
Blood bombs.
That was a pre-existing cough.
No elbow there, huh? No coffin in the elbow?
No, I mean I'm going all in on this.
If you're 100% isolated, you don't have to cough in your elbow, do you? I mean, if you're sitting there all by yourself, like I sneeze, I try to get it. If I'm all by myself, I sneeze and try to get that shit as far away from me as possible. I'm sneezing for distance at this point.
In this situation, I'm only comfortable sharing one thing anymore. And if I can just share that, we'll see. Let's let the ventilator decide. Come on, baby. Come on, baby. You got this. You got this. All right. Can I have the ventilator? She ain't using it anymore. My dad and grandma had dueling oxygen tank back in the day, so I feel like that's kind of the new Titanic.
You still got it?
The oxygen tank? No.
Yeah.
No.
In the garage under a tarp?
No. Larry probably had it for a short time at one of his storage places. Larry was more of a hunter-gatherer than me in those days. The one thing I got from Larry is he had 4 Bose speakers, and when he went to the 901s, those badass ones, and then when Larry went to prison, I bought a set for $500, and those kicked ass. I really enjoyed. The best time was when my guy, one room down in the dorms, burned his room up, and we had to vacate. And before I left, I put Talking Head on repeat with burning down the house, and as they're like, it was a lot of fun, having the 2 loudest speakers. But Larry had a lot of cool shit, maybe too much cool shit. Arguably most of that shit ended up being swiped or confiscated by law enforcement. But for a while, he really had a nice setup.
If he was in jail, how come you had to go buy some?
I bought him before he was going in. There's that interim where you're like, I think he needed flight money, but he didn't like flying.
That's good of you to do that, because it's like sports. You could have just waited until those speakers became a free agent and picked them up for free. Right. But you decided to send Larry a 4th-round draft pick when you didn't need to. So
I wisely bought into that whole marriage contract situation, but turns out the old lady was out to get him the whole time. I choose to think he was defending himself.
As is often the case, Andy.
I haven't heard her spin on it, but I've heard his enough to go, yeah, I'll go. Okay, I got it.
Got to be some truth in that.
Yeah, she was a fucking liar. Yeah. Well, you guys watch the Tiger King. Everybody has, mostly, right?
Yeah, I just saw it one day.
And my daughter was the one.
Should we announce a spoiler alert right now? If you're
no. I'll just say this. My daughter, who wouldn't normally watch such garbage, has nothing to do and watched that, and she sent me a thing. And because when I watched it, I was like, who is this guy? I mean, the mascara, a lot of it was a little over the top or whatever, but it was like, I didn't put it together, but my brother or my daughter sent me a thing saying, wow, that's Uncle Larry. And it was like, wow, yeah, you never owned big cats, there was a situation with a dead horse being buried illegally, but I don't really dive into local politics.
No sense beating that issue.
But I didn't really, she's only gotten to know Larry from the later Tiger King episodes where he's been broken by the system. But I knew the Larry back in the day where he was like fucking collecting. He had, Chaille will appreciate this, is my brother Larry had a collection of clown heads that was pretty much unbeaten in local,
I thought they were figurines.
He had a vending machine clown head. He had a lot of shit. Larry was a businessman, and people would, he was a buyer trader or whatever, and he
importer exporter.
Yeah. Unfortunately for the family, is he never took up cooking. He was always further down the food chain, but he got a lot of cool shit. So like to go through Larry's thing. I mean, right now, if you were in quarantine, you'd spend a lot of time in one of Larry's rooms going, what the fuck is this shit? But back then we're just like, oh shit, man. He had a lot of cars, he's like Jay Leno's garage with a lot of parts missing and
like Jay Leno's garage if Jay Leno never made it past doing tribble runs in the Northwest.
Yeah, and then he took liberally to smoking speed back in the day, Back now we call it meth, but back when he was doing it was straight up speed,
He called it like crystal. Remember
he was like
a crystal?
He was he was like the Elon Musk of speed use anyway. I don't know. Fuck it. I've been drinking I've been drinking since I found out Todd Snyder might be hitting the pipe again. But fuck, man. Hey, man, you guys getting out? You getting out and meeting people and shit?
Locked in.
You see my new friend? I got a new friend.
Is it a smashed wiffle ball?
Well, it's a friend that I found in the driveway who was wounded.
Oh man,
we have a blurry interloper.
A blurry traveler.
Hold on a sec. Hold on. Let me get the audio on for him.
Oh, hey Doug. Hey Doug. Meet my new friend Doug. Doug Wiffle. He's so fucking fun. Have a drink, Doug Wiffle.
Touching your face, psych. Touching your face, psych.
Oh my God. You're 14 days from clean again.
He had to start over.
Make sure you wash that thing on your head and them clothes and go naked, bleach yourself. Bleach your balls, man. It creeps right up in your balls. That's what I've heard. The coronavirus, they call it corona because they said it goes right into the eye of your dick hole. And they said, eye of your dick hole. It's called the coronavirus. And so...
Wouldn't that be the urethra virus?
I opened my This is you're not going to hear this on the you're not going to hear
this
on
the... He's like a jazz musician. He's just going with it.
The lamestream media doesn't want you to hear this. You get a cocktail straw and you open your cock hole and you pour rubbing alcohol and a mixture of cocaine, rubbing alcohol, and heroin if you can get it. And then you light it up. That's the only way your cock hole will be clean. You want to kill an old person?
Do not put out this misinformation, Andy. If people start doing this to cure coronavirus, there's going to be a shortage of cocktail straws in the future, and we can't have that.
Yeah, we can. Actually, we can. Hey, how about a special John Taffer where he goes into a bar and tells him to shut it down because it's got coronavirus? Fuck. We got nothing to look forward to, man. Let's eat, enjoy your... This is how you do it, Doug. You can't get all serious with it.
Enjoy your
get too preachy. You get too preachy, and then people are like, fuck this shit, man. I'm learning something.
I feel like we're
Never
getting.
learned anything on that.
I feel like we're getting Andy Andrist for the 10 o'clock show.
Yeah, totally.
Well, here's the deal: is I realized I'm not worried about being rebooked or the concept of it.
That's 10 o'clock, Andy. Yep, right on.
Yeah. 10 o'clock show, Andy.
I wonder if stand-up's going to fill out a comment card right now.
Hey, where's that wiffle ball bin that you're putting in your mouth? You fucking weirdo.
Well, last we heard, John Mink was holding it.
I know. It's actually
Look, it's covering my corona. Look, it's covering my corona.
You're actually right, because I was like, motherfucker hit a wiffle ball down there, and it was one of the red ones. Like, cocksucker, you know. Because the red ones are special. Because I tell the dog, it's like, I'll hit a, you know, it's like, get the, yeah, oh, whatever, you know, nobody cares. It's over, man. Save yourselves.
Were you about to explain how you talk to your dog about colors?
Well, I don't like to be a racist anymore. Look out, Corona coming down. Everybody, heads up.
I came. They had a thing, something stupid that people were passing around saying, if you want to make sure you don't have the coronavirus when you wake up in the morning, take a deep breath and hold it for 10 seconds. And if you can do that without coughing, then you most likely don't have it.
What?
Which has since been widely debunked. And I don't know why it had to be, because it's the fucking most idiotic thing you've ever heard. But people were passing it all around. It was one of those, another misinformation thing that was going around. But I came up with a pretty solid one on my own. Is if you wake up in the morning and you fucking hawk up a big loogie, spit it into like a rose bush or something, and if it hangs longer than a foot before coming apart, you might have something wrong with you.
No.
Yeah,
Here's what you got. You got to spit on aphids. That rose bush has to have aphids, and if you spit on the aphids and they don't die, you're probably fucked.
What?
I don't know. Seems like bullshit. Here's this here. I had a fucking coronavirus scare that affected as close as you can get to me. I've been taking my temperature a lot because I'm out in the herd a little bit. You know, I try not to be, but you know, somebody's got to go out and take pictures of old animal house sites and put them on Facebook.
Breaking
so I'm out.
news.
Yeah, so I go out and I take my temperature a lot. And I take it all the time. And then I took it, and I was like, my throat was a little sore because I probably smoked a lot of weed and didn't drink water. and I took my temperature right before I went to bed, and it was 101. And I'm like, oh, here we go. My throat's so sore, 101. I take it again, it's 100. So I'm like, okay, better.
Getting better. We beat it already, Andy. Congratulations.
And I'm a little high, but I'm like, wait, I drank tea right before I took my temperature. So actually, I was actually completely like, I'm cold-blooded. So if I get to 98, that'll probably be my breaking point. If I get to 98, I'm like, oh, fuck, I got to kill another person, drink their blood, or I'm going to die. I'm reading it like 96 in the morning. It's like, man, how relaxed do I get at night?
Well, judging by how well you defend your wife when she's answering the door of a maniac out front, pretty well, actually. Sleep right through it.
You can take her, but you can take her. Go on, get out. No, it's unlike Mishka. It has no trigger.
Oh, that took me a second.
I thought you were going to say it's unlike Mishka. It's more than 20 years old.
This is my defense if somebody tries to break in the house. I'm like, I got it. And if they notice I don't have a trigger, I'll have to, like, oh, come on, man. I'll throw this shit at you. You will not like it. If I hit somebody if I threw that at somebody, it would fuck their head up.
You'd be better off holding it and beating them with it.
Right. That's plan.
You don't want one shot. You hit me in the head once with that, you're just gonna piss me off
That's
real
plan
bad.
A. Plan A.
Yeah.
Plan A is make them fear that I'll go. I'm going to give you a chance to walk away, and then I'll go up and pistol whip them. My dad always liked that on the police dramas when somebody would get pistol whipped. Right there. Boom ya. Boom ya.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, you don't need to take it out of your hand. You can keep it like do the wire. Just fucking hit them with it. Use it as the as like a brass knuckle kind of thing. You don't want to turn it around, point it at you, even if it is a fake.
Do you know how
it accidentally goes off?
Do you know how Leon? I can't pronounce his last name. Who should be way more famous than John? Well, he should be equally famous with John Wilkes Booth, but more popular than Lee Harvey. He killed President McKinley. He didn't. And how he did it was McKinley was a dupe, thought he could go out and meet and greet people and shake their hands like a fucking asshole. And
in the 1800s.
Yeah. And this guy was an anarchist and he didn't like capitalism. So he put an ace Band-Aid his gun in his hand, like this little fucking gun, and he ace Band-Aided it. He went up and shook his hand and then blasted him in the belly. And it was hilarious. A couple days later, it didn't get the immediate impact.
I think he lived for a couple days.
Yeah, he did. That's why it was
finally
funny.
died of like sepsis or gangrene or something.
Yeah, but here's the misconception: is people think Lincoln died in that movie house. Fuck no, dude. He was fucking struggling for a minute. What killed Abe Lincoln was the lack of medical attention. He could have been a vegetable.
Well, yeah.
Standards, yeah.
But McKinley, he was a total fucking, if there was modern medicine, they would have just picked them bullets out. I think he would have been fine. But it was fun. It was hilarious. It was a slow death for McKinley. And get this shit. Teddy Roosevelt, boom, what would have happened in another 2 years of McKinley? Who knows? But we had Teddy Roosevelt, Road to the Rescue, Rough Rider.
Well, he didn't really want to. He didn't want to be president.
Who, Roosevelt? Teddy?
He didn't want to be vice president originally.
Yeah, well,
he was against
because he didn't want to be.
And then all of a sudden, in 1901, when I just pulled it up, it's 1901. He died. So I know that Teddy Roosevelt.
I like how Chaille's pretending he knows a lot about McKinley and Teddy Roosevelt.
Yeah.
It's like, what really struck me was
this must be what it's like to be a fucking pundit.
For a second.
This is like being a pundit. You're like, oh, I have an opinion. I just learned about this shit.
No, I looked up McKinley's death, but I just finished a book on tape, an audiobook on Teddy Roosevelt. And
expert.
Very interesting because he's my favorite president.
Yeah,
in 1901, because I was thinking, fuck, it was right on the 1800s thing. But McKinley, when he died, Teddy Roosevelt got thrust into that position, and he didn't want to even be vice president, but he kind of got talked into it.
But it's like, not wanting to be a backup quarterback. He was like, I don't know if I want to back up this douchebag. But then who's to say that Teddy Roosevelt didn't go, hey, you're an anarchist, right? What better way to kick off anarchy than to shoot a fat president in his lying gut, like it's kind of like a weird lesson for today. Like, is there a guy that maybe somebody could get to with an ace bandage with a small caliber gun and just shoot him in his dick or something? I'm not calling out for people to do that, but it's like every American who's sitting at home going, why doesn't somebody in Virginia go do,
hold on here, man.
Easy.
I'm talking about that guy. I'm talking about, doesn't
pretty
Hootie and the Blowfish live
on?
No,
I hate it when we talk about politics, but can we go back to talking about politics from 100 years ago? That was fun.
But that's why, so I was fired up, it's like when you watch the Rocky movie and you hated black people or whatever. It's like, I don't know. But I'm just saying, I was listening to this thing. I had my headphones on. And when I got to
say if, not when.
If. No, I've never. I can prove that I've always loved black people. I've always thought black people were celebrities. Like as a kid, I got a couple of ex-Packers came and played basketball against some fucking Lion Club schlubs, and I got their autograph. And from that moment on, I thought every black guy was a celebrity. So I've revered black people for, like when Good Times came on, it just affirmed what I've always thought. dynamite.
That's black people were dynamite.
Fuck yeah. And then I met Jimmy Walker, and I'm like, nah, kind of. Some of them are dicks. Some of them can be dicks, especially JJ.
The very first black person I saw, I was 5 years old. My mother tells me, I asked him if he was on the Harlem Globetrotters.
Yeah. Well, those were the second black people I got autographs from was the Globetrotters. I actually
That's growing up in Walnut, Illinois, where they put the water tower on a T-shirt.
Okay, Brad, what is it? Brad, what does this say about me? All right. So I got a little chocolate fever when Leon Glass, I think his name was, but I can show. I'll send you the picture.
Wait, you said you couldn't pronounce his last name, and now you're telling me his last name.
No, the black guys. I got the picture. I'm in a sweatsuit. This is back in the day. I had a sweatsuit, and I'm getting the autograph to these guys, and it was in the local paper, and that started it. And then after that, I met the Globetrotters, and then. So I met Globetrotters, and then I went down and hung out with them in the locker room. So it was like, holy shit! I'm glad that got. There wasn't a lot of black people in my area. I don't know where that was going, but I was like, I went from just getting an autograph to go like, hey, where do these guys shower at?
Showering. You went from trying to get an autograph to showering with a linebacker.
Yeah, and those guys were kind of new Globetrotters, so they sent us white boys up to get them snacks. They sent us away. There wasn't. I don't think we had no Curly Neo. We had Geese Osby. Goose.
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 Was it Goose?
Geese.
It was Geese Osby.
Geese.
No, Geese Osby. Goose was in Goose and Maverick in Top Gun.
Top Gun.
He was the Olivia Grace Meadowlark Lemon. Like he would go tour. He would, when Meadowlark couldn't be there, they would send Geese Osby. And there was a Curly Neal for each of them, but it wasn't. Curly Neal was for Meadowlark. I'm not sure. I'd have to check the history to see if Curly ever swayed and went with Geese.
I think you'll probably find out if you go down the rabbit hole. You'll probably find out there were like 6 Curlies.
Here's the fucking deal, though. Here's why I don't want to be. It has nothing to do with race or religion. Geese Osby came out to. He was a goodwill ambassador for the Globetrotters when my daughter was little, and I heard about it on the radio. And I was like, oh, cool. Geese Osby's going to be at Weimar. And I remember him from Scooby-Doo and playing for the Globetrotters.
Yeah.
I had a high, fucking,
this guy's done it all. You're like, this guy has done it all.
I don't care about the country radio personalities, but I'm very anxious to get tickets for free and meet Geese Osby. 1, 2, 1,
A little update, Andy. Curly Neal just died in 2020.
No, that's why I got on. Dude. Oh, fuck! There goes the mic.
There it is.
Oh, sweet motherfucking microphone.
So glad I looked up from loading the bowl.
So the thing was real. It was
the
like
ghost of Curly. The ghost of Curly is like.
Here's the thing. I'm going to get negative on the Globetrotters because when Geese Osby was up there at Weimar or whatever, and he was giving out tickets, and it's like, holy shit, my daughter could not have been more John Benet Ramsey cute at the moment. I didn't doll her up like that, but just a natural look, John, like a John Benet natural, like before the makeup. And I was like, shit, as soon as Geese Osby sees my daughter, well, Clyde Drexler had seen her earlier, and he said, keep an eye on her. So already like, what?
Are you about to criticize Geese Osby for not sexually harassing your tiny daughter?
Well, Andy was offering as bait, it sounds like. I know I'll be able to get an autograph with this fucking bait.
I really didn't care about his autograph. I thought, although, fuck yeah, I'll go see the Globetrotters. I'd seen it before, so I knew it wasn't real basketball. Come on. You know, they stop action all the time. It's like, come on, ref. The refs and come on. They let the Globetrotters get away with murder.
Yeah, why is there a pail of water on the sidelines?
Well,
Yeah.
why?
How
Have
many
you ever
buckets
seen
of confetti do we need to finish the game?
Yeah, Charles Barkley throws a bucket of confetti at a ref. He's out for the season, probably.
Technical. That's a technical.
They just allow that shit. And so anyway, and I could tell there was some the radio personalities were controlling. I don't even blame Geese Osby actually, but Geese gave me he was signing Globetrotter basketballs. I still have it. It's one of my treasured possessions. Geese Osby signed basketball, a little basketball. But he never gave us tickets. And the radio people were like, and they were giving tickets to fat people or whatever, fat, unattractive people. And I'm holding a fucking little John Bonet-esque doll in front of them, and they still didn't give us free tickets. It was like a grift. I went to that game, but I paid for the tickets. And motherfucking Geese Osby signed basketball sprung a fucking leak. So that's always.
Wait, you still have it?
I think I do. I think I have it. It's flat.
Osby basketball.
Well, where would it have gone? It's flat. Nobody played with it.
Are we supposed to guess based on what you did with one of your wiffle balls?
Yeah, you'll be smoking weed out of it next week.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
it might be a hat at this point that you cut into.
And then I went to the Globetrotter game, and my daughter was, she had no interest in it. It was like fucking stupid. And I was like, no, this is great. And it's like, don't you get it? He's wearing big, colorful boxer shorts. Shit, man. It's fucking, we must have been really fucking dumb, or maybe we bought into the fucking wide world of sports sales pitch because,
well, there was no internet back then.
Man.
Yeah, it was fun.
I remember watching like once a year. It would come on locally in Southern California, but I mean, so did horror movies. They didn't.
Yeah, they would show the game. They would show it on Wide World of Sports, and they would break it up, and they would show you somebody, falling off of something cool or whatever and get hurt or whatever. And then they would go back to the Globetrotters Goodwill Ambassadors. And it's like, and when you see it live in person, it's like, okay, they only make like 1 out of 7 of those fucking hook shots, and they stopped the game for the whole time. And it's like, hey, great shot, Sweet Lou Dunbar. Way to hit it on the first take, motherfucker. That was who I hung out with Sweet Lou Dunbar. I ain't bragging. You look it up. Sweet Lou Dunbar.
You know you're not bragging.
Yeah.
At least he didn't molest me. So I did. That's why I've always trusted black guys more than white guys.
Because of lack of interest.
Maybe it's because your ass isn't big enough.
I've never been raped by a black guy.
And he trolled to the fucking locker room and got no action.
Yeah, no kidding. Yeah. No, I almost feel like like in a different day and age like today, Spleen could have framed me for entrapment. That little hooker's begging for a sweatsuit, trying to get a car. Shit, I did all I could do to keep him off of my dick.
What could I do? I'm a cripple.
Let's get with it, man. Let's go.
I know.
We're end times. End times. All right.
I need a second Bloody Mary. Hold, please.
Hey, Chaille, what was your life like through? Did it seem like you were just driving home from Vegas, or did it seem like you were driving through a wasteland of what the fuck is like? Was there any like crazy moments where you're like, Jesus Christ, like like 28 days later kind of moments?
Well, there's a lot of semi trucks. I mean, it's just they're all rolling. But the thing is weird is that every state is different in that, like in Utah, you couldn't, like all the truck stops, there's no cups out, there's no straws, there's nothing. You have to buy a drink from behind the counter, and then they give you the cup, and then you go fill it out. You can't come in with your big fucking huge thing big gulp it. There's none of that. And then you cross the state line to get into Arizona, and everything's out there. Just do whatever you want. It's like business as usual. And then you get into Nevada, and it's like there's some cups, there's lids, but no cups, right?
That's what.
Like, how is that different than grabbing a cup? Some places they didn't even let you even in some areas of Boise. I think there was nothing even there to no drinks, no drinks.
The wonderful thing about it, I guess, is every state handling it differently. It's like, man, like if you were a scientist, you'd be like getting a hard on thinking about, control group, or they did lids here.
Yeah.
Like all the fucking data when you Mississippi saying, stay in place, and then going, no, and like the increases from when stay in place to da or whatever. It's like, it's like it's gonna be.
Mississippi is the state that right before Obamacare came online, the governor of Mississippi sued the federal government to block the citizens to be able to even sign up for Obamacare. They went through the courts and they pulled the website the night before. So yeah, they've got a real good track record in Mississippi of caring about the constituents.
Mississippi never grew up. They're like still dating 18, 19-year-olds. Mississippi.
Mississippi?
I know. We filed on last time. Just saying. It's like
that was too
funny, Andy. That's great.
That was too good not to do. That was hilarious.
I know. I'm starting to feel remorse for shit that I've always felt like. Just fuck it. It's a flamethrower. It's attached to my arm. I can't help it. Now I'm like, it's terrible about the burning village.
It's my arm. I can't help it. I sneeze and it goes off.
Hey, my bad.
What are you, Bruce Campbell?
I wish. Holy shit, I think we all need a neighborhood.
Did I miss us making fun of Mishka?
Yeah,
I feel bad about that. I can't wait to rewatch.
I tell you, I gotta say, guys, with me finally being home and having a little more control over my environment, I just watched last episode, which was number 35, Why I Jacked Off at Grandma's Place. That is one of the best episodes. So I have to tell you, it was one of the best episodes so far, and I watch every single one of them.
I think that one caused a lot of confusion. I did not breed my grandma. I made love to myself while she was sleeping peacefully.
Hey, listen, those headlines are just to pull you in, show titles.
Pitch was knocked out on crunk, yo, as the kids say today.
But I think we're having a positive overall effect because today on Twitter, Andy and I got tagged in a random fan burning Mishka. And I fucking thought it was.
Oh no!
Because Mishka tweeted something about his cat, and he said like, "Oh, I did something with my cat. How long will I be single, or when will I be whatever it was?" And the guy's response was, "As soon as Child Protective Services come and take your girlfriend back to her parents." And then he tagged Andy and I in it. Like, oh, this is perfect now, because Mishka's whole problem was that killer termites were gonna grab this Mishka's a pedophile thing and run away with it. Now it's happening.
He was right.
Yeah,
This is maybe I'm revealing more than the anonymous caller I just fielded before this podcast. He got a hold of me on DMs, and I had a message from him a while back, and then since since the coronavirus, we're speeding up the process, and I had an hour-long fucking conversation with this cat, and there'll be some announcements coming up. Fucking weird, but it's like people who have talents that it's like everybody wants to fuck with somebody, and it's like they're realizing man, this is why I was put here. I was not put here to earn money for a family. I was put here to fuck with some asshole who's fucking it up so that other people can't earn money for their family or whatever. And so
I feel like this is the point of the show where if it's a stand-up show, we're all in the back looking at each other and our watch, and we're like, "Is Andy running the light yet?"
He's closing on us, right?
Well, I took this meeting after Todd Snyder's concert and half that bottle and then a couple of beers or whatever and some weed.
I'm not saying stop. There is no light on this show. That's the thing.
Right. Here's the thing: it's like I get, you field offers from people who are like, this might sound crazy.
What I'm saying is there are a lot of times during an Andy Andrus stand-up performance that we stand in the back and we hear something and we look at each other and then we do like a little pool where we try to guess which bit this one is going to be eventually. Because it doesn't sound like any of them right now.
Here's the thing is what's
I bet this is the one about the
I don't get concept of
retards racing in the mud. It's probably that one.
Here's the thing, it all kind of comes back to ground zero. Where it's like, man, I don't like, you get the Bill Hicks you deserve, and I didn't mean to be forecasting the future. I just thought things were pretty fucked up back then, and sometimes you listen to it now, it's like, yes, it applies to today. It's just like,
man,
it's just like I was thinking about back. Hang on, I made contact with my pipe, which I didn't have a chance to put in gasoline. No, it's cool. I'm like in several COVID fucking support groups. I'm like giving them names, like tagging people. COVID. I don't know if this person's still alive, but
oh fuck. Covered a lot of ground from President McKinley to Geese Osby.
It's a total COVID up, man.
A fucking wide berth.
That's a big net.
I think I mentioned this before. This was unrelated to the Geese Osby situation, but the same touring team cock-blocked me, and I shouldn't even been in that casino, And I had a show at that casino, and the Globetrotters weren't playing at that casino, and so I was like, just circulating, like, meet and greet.
I've seen you circulate before, dude.
Circulating in that indie casino in Washington, and then I started to hear a murmur. I was like, oh, the Globetrotters are here. And those motherfuckers were basically like the Globetrotter version, Scooby-Doo version of the Globetrotters, like in their sweatsuits and shit.
They're always in their sweatsuits.
Yeah, that's part of it. They have to advertise everything about them when they hit the town.
I was like, I shouldn't even been, talking to this lady or whatever. I was like, I was like,
sure that's a fact.
Totally true. And I should have probably just been in my room counting $50 less than I thought I would get. Instead, I was spending, another 50 on top of that to try to, win something. Then the Globetrotters came in and they fucking they ruined the karma on the blackjack table, but they also monopolized on both sides. I got 2-on-1. I got 2-on-1 fast break by the Globetrotters at an Indian casino in a place where I'd perform. Like, I felt like I was a Washington general, right? Like,
damn it, that's the joke I was gonna go for.
Damn it, I'm such a fucking. I'll take the half-court shot, coach. So, but Erickson's ready to make it, and it'll be like a collaboration. Like, no, I'll just hook it up.
Andy's the one who grasps into air for the ball when the Globetrotter shoots it out with the string on his finger and the ball snaps back. Andy tries for it. Every time.
I already ruined it. And every time after we're done, I'm always like, man, I'm such a fucking ball hog cocksucker. Pass the ball, man. Shake's ready. Shake's ready to take that shot. And I'm like, give it to me, Shake. I got a shot 15 feet outside. I think I can make. Chaille, you got a layup. Give it to me. I got a 10-footer. Brett's gonna dunk. Give it to me. I can lob it up from half court. I got it. I got this shit.
It's the first quarter. What is first period? What are you taking half court shots? It's not a buzzer beater.
Hey, Andy, would you play defense? Fuck you.
I ain't running down there to run back.
This is randomly titled after me. I ain't playing no defense, bitch.
God damn it.
Oh, God damn.
I think you just advocated for us doing a charity basketball game against the local Lions Club schlubs.
That's me getting it off of my COVID-infected chest.
That actually, you know what? That actually isn't a terrible idea. Remember how they used to do that in towns, right? You'd have the local, the football team would come and play against. We should do that. We should do issues with Andy where like we come to your town and we play the teachers in a basketball game. We could get some killer termite to like spin this like we're actually famous and like it's going to be a good idea.
Well, a
And
lot
then
like
show up
Leland
and do it
Glass
for
and
fun.
Coquille.
Yeah, that's what I mean. We could draw as well as them.
Yeah, no, like fucking Packers backups were playing basketball on the road in Coquille in the 70s.
And
Like-
in Walnut, we had actually a thing. They used to do this thing called donkey basketball. You guys
Yeah.
remember donkey
Yeah.
basketball?
Yeah, they come through our town. Yeah. Holy cow.
That was the second sports team that I was
It's
on.
like, yeah.
T-ball, donkey basketball.
How can we loop animal abuse into this farce?
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, my principal has never looked more compromised. Holy shit, yeah. Yeah, the same.
I
And
actually played
that's either version of the word principle.
There's no principles. Principles was pre-corona. Neither apply in the post-corona world.
Yeah. Schools are
Principles-
closed.
Principles of schools. What? What you talking about? And principles is like, do you need to eat or not? It's like, I got 2 pieces of wrapped buffalo bacon. Well, they're not bacon, but they're just, buffalo.
Rat?
You see
Buffalo?
rat
But I keep-
buffalo bacon?
Well, it's like it's buffalo jerky-ish.
But you said
What was
rat?
the first word you said? You said rat.
Well, not yet. I'm hoping to cultivate following by
Never
throwing
mind.
rotten meat. Anyway, but
Just keep churning out the words.
I forgot.
Maybe
what
it
I'm
was
talking-
wrapped.
Mhm.
Wrapped.
Maybe it's wrapped buffalo bacon.
Wrapped. Was it
Oh,
wrapped?
but I mean, it's like so I got
you woke
these
back
2
up.
pieces, right? It's just back to the coronavirus. What we're all, the terrible world we're in. It was like, I would normally grab that and snack on it, but I'm like, man, I don't know if I'm gonna be, back down that way. I don't know if I'm gonna get back down to Albertsons again and have that. It's like, am I being frivolous to open up that right now and eat it? And it's like, fuck yeah, there's I've never really thought about my, the lady, my roommate complains about how I never really pay much attention to leftovers, but now I'm like sniffing them out like, hey, you're pretty. Where'd you come from? Hey, 3-day-old coleslaw. You looking good, girl.
You smell nice too.
I'm treating ice cream like cocaine. Only special occasions, Joe. I don't want to get up into that. It ain't even my favorite flavor, but I'm going to wait till the weekend to get up into that. I got a couple ice cream bars. I'm waiting to come fucking visit me. Come on. Haagen-Dazs, bitch.
Oh, motherfucker.
We should keep going because there's nothing else.
Mm-hmm. My
It's like
schedule's
Doug's favorite joke about pigs and time doesn't matter. It's like, here we are.
I'm game
I'm-
for a marathon, but I got to start drinking.
What are you doing with the water, bro? I'm worried about you.
I'm
That liver
rationing
thing?
alcohol / giving my liver the day off. I drank for the fucking Twitch stream. Got all fucked up with those guys yesterday.
Yeah.
And then was over at the Funhouse the day before that, and so it's like every single day I'm getting fucked up. So
well, I didn't get cut off, but I mean, a couple of people have told me that, I should just quit going out or whatever, but I only go out to get bark dust. And I got my suicide area I can't wait to show you guys pictures of it. It's like, there's this big heavy rock and it almost fucked my back up, but it didn't really fit with the rocks I was digging up and shit. And it was like, I don't know what the chickens did. I doubt they moved it. It's fucking heavy.
Oh, you doubt the chickens moved a big rock that you're having trouble grasping?
There was 4 of them, but no arms. No arms.
Okay. Well, yeah.
But that's like 8 wings, but no real lifting ability. But this rock just had no big fucking rock. And then I was like, I hoisted it up and I was like, ugh! And it's like the last thing you want to do is get injured and have to go to the hospital. So I picked it up and used my knees, and then I dropped it in place. And I was like, this is perfect. It's like put the noose around my neck, and it's like, this is fucking, I'm like, holy shit. It's like this fucking ending is writing itself or whatever. And I got all the hemlock bark, and I'm like standing up there with the thing. I didn't put the, hang, but I don't know how to tie knots.
Dude, it's like a suicide video game where, like, each week you uncover one more part of it that will make your whole suicide completely. Oh, I finally uncovered the rock I'm going to hold when I jump off this branch.
The chicken showed him the rock.
Right.
He knows
that was it. First, it was like, how do I turn these 4 chickens into suicide assistants?
Well, I know
they'll peck at the ground till they unearth a rock that I'm going to hold.
One time I impulsively found myself up in there. And it was like I had the rope and I was fucking mad or upset or whatever it was. Maybe stressed. I don't know. Maybe I needed I needed a Snickers bar. I don't know. But it was like, God damn it, here we go. I don't give a fuck. And then I was like, God damn it, man. I gotta do something about what these chickens did. And it's kept me going for a minute. And here we are 5 years later. I've got it all fixed. I got nice bark down. It was like a fucking rock. I never would have envisioned back then. I just would have, or maybe, I don't know, maybe a rock. I don't know. But anyway, it's like, it's never looked better.
I can't wait to see it.
Yeah. I'm not saying our Airbnb is open, but our Airbnb annex is open. Bring your own tarp and gloves, and a mask wouldn't hurt, Carcass removal, $50.
I'm still stuck.
Leave the $10 I stole from Olivia Grace.
I'm still stuck on the visual of your suicide being a Snickers commercial, and you like up in the tree, and it's Gilbert Gottfried, and he's holding a rock, and he's like, "I'm just gonna kill myself," and they're like, "Andy, have a Snickers." You're always like this.
I wish I could get. Here's the thing: is think. Here's the thing about my suicide thoughts and adulation or whatever they call it. Think more Leonard Nimoy and less Gilbert Gottfried.
That's in your head. That's what you think.
Well, no, it's fucking logic. It's like, God damn it, how do I fucking beat myself out of this logic that's fucking way more advanced than my fucking, my pussy thinking like, no. It's like my logic saying, no, it's time to go. Beat this thing, man.
Oh, that's fucking
I'm second guessing every suicide attempt I failed.
Oh, God damn it.
Monday morning suicide quarterback.
Gotta look at the tapes, see what you did wrong.
You only three more games, and it really wasn't.
I guess I got to get that rock up the tree first before I try to climb up there with it. That's where I had all the problems. I kept dropping the rock as I was climbing the tree.
The only reason I'm alive right now, and I found the difference between life and death is like 6 buckets of that pea gravel. And what I say is 2 half cans of bar. Like I said, he's got nobody gives a fuck anymore. And I say, I'm gonna fill that
I'm
garbage
not
can.
going to let you get off of this story of how
All
the
right.
difference between life and death is 6 buckets of pea gravel. We're gonna
I'm
fucking
waiting.
go on with this.
Anyway,
I think he's on his
Anyway.
closer, everyone.
but
He's
anyway,
closing with this. Sure.
listen. When I go, when a person says, I'm only gonna put 2 buckets of bark dust in a bucket, they're lying to you. Hey, James Inman the squirrel, how are you doing? James Inman should.
Focus, Andy. Focus.
It petered out. It petered out again. Now he's got to start it up a bit.
No, I'm good. So I say I'm gonna get 10 gallons in what's probably a 32-gallon can, flying right up in their face. Like I'm gonna only get 2 buckets of it, but I know my suicide area needs hemlock bark. Ironically named hemlock. Different situation. You can't die with hemlock bark. But when you're hanging from a rope, it'll make your feet feel better if you're barefoot. Go.
Wait, if you're hanging from a rope to kill yourself, your feet shouldn't be touching anything.
I thought the same thing, Chaille.
That's another one of his Monday morning quarterbacking issues. He's going to have to get a
Ooh, I see
shorter
what I
rope.
did here.
Why isn't this?
Okay, so
Why isn't this working? Oh, because I'm just standing here with the rope around my neck.
Why
my ankles?
Well, why my suicide area failed is after the chickens when I was really in a pretty good mood for it. I was pretty ripe for the taking. Not a lot of positives or whatever. Where I was like, and I was like, man, it just bothered me that all those stepping stones were so crooked. That's the pea gravel up underneath them, and now there's no.
Got it.
And those were just. Porter. I was getting caught up on the stairwell leading up to the gallows. Like, I don't like the way these.
Boy, do you look dumb tripping on the gallows steps.
What an idiot!
Let me start again. Can I get down and back up?
Yeah, it's like it's like getting hung up on a detail that don't matter.
Cut. Let's get to the one, everyone. I want to try over.
Yeah, back to one.
You have a hood and a medium. This hood feels like a small.
I feel like it's a little too clingy. I want to get the,
I guess
pretty claustrophobic. I'm gonna be honest, it's claustrophobic inside this hood.
Has it been tested for COVID-19 also?
I guess
want to come down with something.
I guess the point of this is you can overplan your death. It's like everything else, It's like let's keep it simple. I don't want a lot of people.
What life is. It's just over planning your death.
Do I really want to die on an empty stomach? Does it matter? Shit, I don't know. Oh fuck! I forgot to feed the squirrel. Well, I'll do that, and then I'll come back, and then you get sidetracked. Somebody says, "Oh, you want to?" It's like, "No, I'm in the middle of something." What do you? Well, can you? All right, just get you, and then you're like, "Oh shit! I don't even feel that emotional right now."
Yeah. I can't do it now. I'm halfway through turning this wiffle ball into a bong.
It's like interrupting somebody mid-suicide is like interrupting somebody mid-sneeze. It's like, man, I might not even get that one back.
Yeah. Look at the light. Look at the light.
God damn it, man. I should have been dead by now. This is not my problem. That's the biggest thing is when you don't kill yourself. It's like dealing with the next wave of shit. It's like, God damn it. I'm such a dick.
Yeah, that's been my cycle.
That's also what life is.
Well, yeah. Once I decide to do it, I realize how much shit I need to get done first. And then by the time I get all that shit done, I'm in a better mood. And I'm like, well, maybe I'll just try for a little bit longer.
Yeah. Or you're tired and you just need to get some sleep and you go to bed and then you wake up tomorrow and now you got new shit to do.
Yeah.
Oh man, I'm gonna fucking hang myself. As soon as I get some buckets of pea gravel, back up in here.
Yeah.
You go to the pea gravel and that guy's friendly.
I can just picture Andy up on this giant branch, noose around his neck. And he looks down, he sees out of order stepping stones. He's like, takes it back off, climbs back down, makes a phone call.
Yeah, well, it wasn't just a little out of order. It's like I don't mind killing myself when things are a little askew, but these stones were like completely fucking sideways and
Yeah, I
half
can't have
buried. It's like, but Chaille, I think Chaille tipped me off. It's like they were looking for food. It's like, I guess I didn't, post my snack policy or whatever. It's like it's just, you feed at night and you feed at day, and all that shit they did that was on
What
them,
did you
man.
think they were? What did you think they were doing?
The chickens
When they're
are fucking up.
scratching at the ground and then pecking down, did you think they were into China?
I
What the
take everything personal, and I didn't like them following me around, and I yelled at them, and then I thought they were out to get me, or I thought a lot of it was personal.
The guy takes food out. The guy takes literal chicken food to them twice a day, takes it out of a pouch and throws it onto the ground. And then he's surprised they're following him around the rest of the time. Hey, leave me alone.
We had a dining area. and
he points at a sign on the wall that has the times. Clearly, the eating is listed at 5 p.m.
I did this a lot. I said, give me some space. I'm having a bad time right now. I'm thinking about going up and killing myself. Give me some space. And
this would be a great cartoon.
Right now, the chickens would be making a chicken noise. You mock me like I can do it? I'll do it.
Yeah.
Andy, now you can't hang yourself, because if you do, we'll never be able to sell the cartoon.
Right. If you're thinking about drawing this, there were 2 Goldens and 2 Americanas.
Oh, wow.
And those Americanas, they draw out the green eggs, and I really like getting the green eggs. They would like squawk, and I'm like, fuck
yeah. We're going to use Korean animators, and they're notoriously cheap. We'll only have like 3 or 4 colors available to us in its entirety. So the chickens will all be the same color.
Listen, handle all that shit with gloves. Wash the containers. Bring your groceries home, swab them. If I bring anything home and I have to swab it, I'm fucking it. I don't care if it's a ham.
I fucked everything else I swabbed in my life.
I swabbed that chicken. I'm fucking it. It's mine.
You're too old to change, Andy.
Yeah, old school. New chickens, old school. I don't care about these millennial chickens and their personal space rules. You see how close to goddamn squirrels. Get out of here, man. You fucked up my blanket. I'm not happy about this situation with you, James.
Oh shit.
There
he is. He's fine.
Do we have anything else going on? Do we have plugs? I'll be gathering peanuts. I'm starting to think we're codependents. But I would like, it's like, man, bring me an Oxy or something, man. Crushables. I tell him, you have access.
If you could train that squirrel to steal pills from your neighbors, that would be.
Oh, I would be that guy with all the fucking weird body sores on Fury Road. I'd be.
You'd be.
Where's my women? Where's my women? I've got Oxy.
You'd be Dr. Do even less.
Yeah. Where's my favorite woman? I've got crushed Oxy. Oh, come on, squirrel. Don't be that way, Jimmy. Come on.
All right. Well, I don't have anything coming up other than a bike ride through the empty streets of Los Angeles later today.
With my lovely... way to live on the edge.
Yeah.
That shit's airborne.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's all right.
Well, no, you'll be expelling it, so it's cool.
Yeah.
It'll float and find the right people.
Chaille, are you podcasting every day? Or are you guys?
We started yesterday, and Doug has threatened to do video. He was so high on edibles that I'm gonna turn this stuff on, and I did, and I got one in the can. Not video yet, but we might be doing video today. I don't know. I just leave everything set up now, and he gets.
I'll tell you this: I've seen Doug do some sick shit, or whatever. And it's like, I'm not going to judge nobody. I'm not, I'm not like, victims or, there's no Me Too situation, but what's this all about? This doesn't seem right here or whatever. But his,
Now, Andy,
his,
we all know that you are his Spock to his Shatner. Always the voice of logic and reason around the captain.
Kind of that alien black chick at times too, or green chick or whatever, purple chick, like sometimes. Anyway, but here's the thing: is the most troubling thing, and I've seen Doug cook stew, and I was like, oh, that seems unsettling, like what's this all about? But when he started eating weed, I was like, man, all that time I felt like I was the weird one, and Chaille doesn't smoke weed, and Doug he didn't understand what the whole hubbub was about. Now he's eating weed, and it's like, yeah, now you understand lack of workload, bro. Welcome aboard my sinking Hindenburg. This balloon ain't blowing up. It's just losing air, man. It's a much softer landing.
It's like a Geese Osby signed basketball.
Yeah,
at this point.
yeah. Do you want your balloon to blow up or fucking lose air and set you down easy?
Gently, yeah.
That's what I'm all about. And James Inman appreciates it because I got Filbert nuts.
We've always said that.
Yeah, there's almost no reason to manscape anymore, right? I mean,
you don't want the virus living down there.
Well, yeah, there's that. Yeah.
That's
with all the others.
Like,
yeah, so I think we're going to be podcasting more frequently. It would be ridiculous for me to try and say when and like how often the frequency is, but about 3:00 every day. He's pretty fucking bored, so I'm just gonna have this stuff available and just ready to go. And if I ever have Chad, if I get enough notice, I'll tip you off. Or if it looks like we're gonna start doing like a 15 days or something like that, I'll let you know.
If Doug needs his #1 guest back, James Inman is available almost all days for Skyping.
Works for peanuts.
Give me an Adderall. Give me an Adderall. Give me a peanut. What's the difference? They're both assholes. They're both fucking greedy assholes.
My Twitch channel with everybody being home is getting more viewers than ever. Fantastic. So check it out if you want. If you go to my Twitter at HDFatty, my pinned tweet will tell you how you can subscribe for free if you have Amazon Prime.
Chad, I got to ask you about this. You said somebody wanted to PayPal me money or whatever. And I didn't get it. So it's like, I keep looking to but Erickson, you should pitch your merch. Christina, she's in Denmark. She buys all my old merch. It's like sending Indian blankets, out. It's like, I don't know if this doesn't have a virus on it, but I'll go to the post office and risk my life to send it. Christina, I can't say her last name. She's from Denmark. Yeah, she's a big fan of the show. Yeah. And she's got a bunch of snakes.
We love you.
And she'll buy merch, but you got to risk your life by going out to mail it.
All right. So, well, maybe I'll check that out. See if I can do that.
Have merch? We're all sitting on a pile of merch.
We've all got merch.
Hey, Chad, I got to ask Chad. Chad, what days do you regularly broadcast on Twitch?
Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday.
All right.
Holy shit.
Tuesday, and do you need a laminate, or how do you go about signing up?
You do, Andy. You do. Keep that on.
But other people, how do they sign up?
That's what Andy uses to get back in the house.
How do you make money off of that when they sign up? Isn't there a...
Yeah, because I have reached a certain amount of viewers or followers, so then it gives you what's called an affiliate status, and then for every Prime sub that people give, or paid sub, because a lot of people pay to sub on there. Subscription, I get half of it.
Because when I've been on there and people offer up subs and stuff, I immediately go into the S&M world and like, I'm not sure. Let me Google some of these.
I cannot believe that you asked Chad to answer that question legitimately, just as a setup to a fucking joke.
No, I did not. Just waited for the word sub.
I did not.
I just started smoking weed, and I was like, he's not even listening to
No.
I did not. I hear everything Chad says. He knows that. I have a fucking problem here. This gun will not fire a bullet. It's frozen up.
I fucking love you guys. I hope we all make it through this so that we can just do this always.
Yeah. Everybody seems healthy at this point.
Like and subscribe. And we'll keep doing this as long as we're here.
And if I'm not here,
we still got the squirrel.
You got a squirrel.
Yeah. Skype the
See
squirrel.
you guys.